Hello and welcome to our Sweet Sunny Days. This week I have just got some good old-fashioned summer cooking for you guys. We have some simple meals, a fun mocktail, and some bigger, more complex meals going in the kitchen this week. The first meal I have going in my kitchen this week is a big batch of Hawaiian chicken for tacos. We had a special event in our family this week, and I was cooking for a lot of people. As many of you guys know, my family is really large. I have 3 older sisters, all of them with children, and so it takes a lot to feed our crew. And so I have actually 2 big batches of chicken going in the Instant Pot for a special family event. This meal definitely taught me that if I had a really large family, for those who don't know, it's just me, my husband, and our daughter who does not eat real food yet. If I had a really large family, I would cook way, way differently. Even just shredding the amount of chicken that it takes to feed 25 people is a lot of work. And so when my sisters say like, oh yeah, if it was just us 2, we'd cook way differently, now I definitely understand what they mean by that. While this recipe is certainly a little bit less practical for a group of 25, I think is how many people I was cooking for, this recipe is awesome for a family of 2 or 3 or probably even 4. So if you want to try it, it's a really good one. It is just in the Instant Pot. You do chicken thighs, pineapple, some onion, and then you add in spices, hot sauce, and mustard. Oh, and obviously garlic. And you cook it at high pressure for 12 minutes, shred the meat, and make really, really delicious, flavorful tacos. I love this recipe. It is so yummy and so easy. I love using the Instant Pot to cook chicken because it does not have to be all the way thawed. So if you are ever in a pinch for dinner and you don't know what to make, all you have to do is get the chicken thawed enough to get out of the package, and then you can cook it in your Instant Pot. In addition to the pineapple chicken tacos, I decided that I also wanted to make a side for the family. So I bought a watermelon and just cubed up half of it and set it aside for the kids, with intentions of doing the other half as like a watermelon cucumber salad. So while the Instant Pot was cooking the chicken, I just took the opportunity while I had time in my kitchen to cut up the watermelon and set it aside, knowing that I would come back later and actually make the salad. Yeah. I got the watermelon all cut up and put away in 2 separate containers, let the pressure out of the Instant Pot, and started shredding the chicken with 2 forks. Because this wasn't actually for this day, once I got all of the chicken shredded, I just put it away in Ziploc bags in the fridge so that we could eat it the next day and I wouldn't have to do all of the cooking while people were around and we were hanging out. Later that evening, I headed out to my herb garden to pick some fresh mint for the watermelon feta salad. We had spent the day out, and now it was time to come back in and kind of put all the finishing touches on the meal. So that included finishing up the watermelon salad and also cutting up some of the toppings for the tacos. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about how I follow or don't follow recipes and this watermelon feta salad as well. So when it comes to finding recipes and following recipes, I love to get inspiration and get ideas from other people who are definitely much more experienced than me. But when it comes to making things that I consider simple or things that I already know how to do, I kind of just look at recipes for the ingredients. I'm not really looking at them for instructions or even a lot of times how long it needs to be cooked. I'm just looking at it for the ingredients. This is something that is kind of recent in my cooking journey, that I don't need to follow a recipe 100%. So with this watermelon feta salad, obviously super easy. There's no cooking involved, but I just kind of Googled a bunch of them and kind of got a good idea of what was in them, and then just grabbed whatever was in my fridge that would go well and put it all in one bowl for our gathering. Skipping ahead to our next meal and later in the week, we have just simple old sloppy joes going in the kitchen. I mentioned, I think in the last video, that me and my husband both really love very, very simple meals in the summer. And we are always looking for ways to use ground beef that isn't just burgers over and over again. And I had forgotten about sloppy joes for the longest time, and I don't even remember what made me think of it. But as soon as we saw it, we were like, yep, that'll be perfect. A really tasty, simple summer meal. And so again, like I said, a lot of times when I make stuff that's really simple, I just scour the internet and kind of combine a bunch of recipes with what I already have on hand. For sloppy joes, that just meant some garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, ketchup, mustard, and Worcester sauce. I don't think I put anything else in there. And that was all. I didn't measure anything. I just went solely based on my heart and what I felt like it needed. And like I said, this is a new thing for me in the kitchen, to not measure and follow recipes religiously. After we had lunch, I decided that a fancy-ish mocktail sounded really, really yummy. I love to have a sweet drink in the afternoon, and normally that just means a fruit juice mixed with a pure LaCroix, but this time we got a little fancier. So I got some fresh strawberries and just cut the tops off and put them directly into the cup that I was going to be making this drink in. The recipe I was half following was technically for like a whole pitcher, so I was kind of modifying it a little bit to make it just one person, but I just put the strawberries, some lime juice, and some maple syrup into a cup and used my immersion blender to get them all blended and basically pureed. Added a pure LaCroix, and then once I put in the ice, I just cut up some fresh strawberries to top it, and also some basil to add just one more little flavor. So this is really only 5 ingredients and so tasty. I am going to be making these all summer. You can barely read my stove timer there, but it says 8:59 p.m. and that is because we got home really late one night and just needed to throw together dinner, and so we just did spaghetti. There is nothing wrong with not reinventing the wheel when it comes to food and just simple sustenance for 2 people or for your whole family. We love to make fancy meals around here. We love to have meals with tons of flavor, but also sometimes just regular old spaghetti with ground beef from a good source and an ancient grain pasta and an organic marinara is totally good enough and gets the family fed. One of my absolute most favorite parts of summer is the fresh herbs, and so I just hopped outside really quickly in the dark and grabbed some oregano, some parsley, and some basil, and cut it up so that we could add it to the spaghetti just to give it a little bit more freshness and flavor. The last meal I have to show you guys this week is a soup that we used to make all the time, and I kind of got out of the habit and decided that I wanted to make it again this week. This particular soup recipe is from Paleo Running Mama, and it is called her pizza soup. And a while back, I did paleo for 6 months, and I always say that it taught me how to cook because I had to make every single meal at home. And this is a meal that whenever I first made it, like the first few times, I remember it being so complicated and hard to me. Like I was like, okay, we're gonna make pizza soup. And it was really yummy, so I always considered it worth it, but I always felt like it was a lot of work. And so, like I said, I had forgotten about this meal for a really long time. And I got back in my kitchen to make it kind of like with the same attitude that it would be hard. And I was shocked at how easy it was. I was like, wait, why was this so hard to me? So I say all of that to say cooking gets so much easier. So if you are in a phase where you feel like cooking is so hard and meal planning is so hard, I would say to commit to that being your thing for even just 2 or 3 months, and you will realize that you can get into a rhythm. You can learn how to cut an onion easier. Now, I don't want to act like I'm some sort of expert because I am definitely not an expert cook. And whenever I say paleo taught me how to cook, I mean the basics. Like I knew nothing. But if you just commit to it for a little bit, meal planning and cooking will become more fun and less of a hassle in your kitchen. As always, I hope these meals and this video was inspiring to you. I put out a new video every week, so if you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe. See you guys next week.